Senior President. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Now, I know it's been a while since we've had a Fireside Chat. We've been trying to communicate with you all through a combination of district email and other messages through our members-only email service. But I thought it would be time for a holiday Fireside Chat, so here we go. Move to middle school model. Now, this has been a hot topic in our district for a little while now, so I wanted to give you all an update about what's going on with this whole move to middle school model with the district's facilities master plan. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to you right now? And so on. So just a quick update. A couple of Mondays ago, the leaders of our district, our superintendents, some assistant superintendents, some directors met with the folks over at Taylor to give them a rundown of where we are on this process. Now, this move to a middle school, this move from pulling our sixth grades off our elementary sites and then converting our junior highs to a middle school is all part of the district's facilities master plan. If you go back to the email this video was attached to, you'll actually see some links to the school board meeting where the master plan was approved, the actual master plan document itself, and a couple other things. So if you want to do a deep dive into this information, go back to the email this video was attached to where you can get more information. So a couple of items that are basically bottom line is that there's not going to be a switch to middle school model within this year or the next year. At the earliest, we're talking about transitioning in maybe the 25-26, any kind of beginnings. Now, that's a maybe, and the reason I say that is because the district also wants to put a bond on next year's ballot in order to build some new schools, which we desperately need, right? A new elementary and a new junior high, which would actually be a new middle school. And so if that passes, we're talking still at least 2.5 years at the least in order to design and have plans approved for a new school and then to build a school. And that's assuming you already have the land and you have the financing in place, right? So there's a lot of elements in the air, but just so you all know, we are not moving to a middle school model this year or next year. You're gonna hear a lot about this at school board meetings, so I encourage you all, even from your own home, to log into school board meetings. If you can't make it to the school board meetings, then you can always go to SMBSD Family on YouTube and you can find the videos from the board meetings and just listen to those segments if you want, just so you keep yourself up to date on what's happening. And by the way, if you're asking yourself, why are we even doing this? And the answer is universal transitional kindergarten. That is a whole entire brand new grade level. And the next year or two, we're gonna have to fully implement all-day transitional kinder, which is an entire new grade level at all of our elementaries. That adds a whole new group of kids to our schools. And so our schools are already impacted, they're already overcrowded, there's already not enough housing for our students, so something has to happen. And this move to a middle school design is the district's response to that. I'll also let you know that there will be a district-wide steering committee made up of members, classified, certificated, management, families, community members who are all going to be looking into what kind of a design we can implement in our district, what's going to be the most feasible, have the least negative impact to students and staff, and then make recommendations to the school board about how to move forward. And so look forward to that as well. District calendar. It's that time again where we start looking at potential district calendars for the next couple of years. For those of you who have been following along, our current batch of calendars only runs through the end of this school year, so we're looking at calendars for the next 2 years after that. We got together with the district to take a look at some calendar options. We came up with 2 calendar options. Each option is 2 years in length. Now, the district's in the process of converting those from the format that we had viewed them in originally into a format that's more friendly to the rest of us, right? So we're all used to a calendar with the dots and that kind of thing. So they're actually converting the version that we saw into, and the version that we bargained over to versions that are familiar to everyone. Once that happens, we'll bring these 2 calendar options forward to all of our members for a vote. Now, whichever one of those calendars gets the majority vote, then that version will go to the school board to complete the ratification process. Usually we have some kind of a calendar committee or calendar survey. This year we didn't do either because the district, for the first time, put a survey out. Some of you might have seen it. Actually, a lot of you actually responded to it. The calendar survey went out to classified, certificated, management, and to families. Over 1,500 individual responses came back on calendar. Of those, almost 400 of those responses were from our members. Your association was involved in the creation of the the survey. We were able to take a look at it ahead of time, offer some recommendations, which are implemented and made part of the survey. The survey went out. When the survey was closed, we actually got access to all of the raw data. So no editing of data, no deletions or additions, just straight raw data from the survey, which allowed us to kind of separate out our member responses, or teacher responses, from everybody else's responses, and take a look at what you all said in regards to the question. And the quality of the survey, the number of responses really isn't any different or any better than we could have done had SMEA put out their own survey to calendar. We looked at previous calendar surveys and just surveys in general to look at what our response rates are, and about 400 responses is right in the window of what we normally get when we get a good response from members for things like this. And so we're pretty confident in the results, which is why we were able to go ahead and bargain with the district these 2 calendar options. Again, once these options have been converted into a format that is more recognizable to all of us, we will get those out for a calendar vote to see which one will prevail. I'm hoping that happens at the very beginning when we get back after our winter break. Director's election. As you all know, over the last couple of years, we were working on revamping our leadership structure for SMEA. It has traditionally been a bank of officers, presidents and vice presidents, the secretary and the treasurer. We've had that design for the life of our association, but as we grow, as we become more diverse as an association, and really just the wide variety of types of members that are part of our association, it made sense to start diversifying within our leadership. And so last spring, your rep council approved a new leadership design that keeps the 6 officers that we've always had, but adds 5 directors to our leadership team. Those 5 directors include director of elementary, a junior high director, a special education itinerant director, so those sped folks who are not site-based, a support services director. Those are for folks who are outside the classroom but are certificated members, not special ed. So any type of coach, whether it's instructional coach or ELD coach, RTIs, counselors, TOSAs, folks who are our members who are outside the classroom, and then we'll have an at-large director. We're super excited about this. If you go back to the email this video was attached to, you can take a look at who are the constituents of each of these directors, or what members do they represent, and also the duties that are going to be assigned to each of these individual directors. All of your current officers, presidents, vice presidents, we all have duties that are assigned to us, whether it's committees or teams, and we've done the same for the incoming director positions. These positions will go up for a vote, for an election this spring. So if you're interested in any one of these positions, a junior high, an elementary, a special education itinerant, a support services, or the at-large, please keep your eyes out for the candidate declaration forms that'll come out. If you also go back to the email this video is attached to, you'll see a timeline of events for this particular election. We're super excited about this. I'm really looking forward to expanding our leadership team and really creating some more diversity within that team. We've also made one little change to our vice presidents, which won't take effect until the next officers election, but we've actually taken our second and third vice presidents and districted them out. So we assigned 2 clusters to one vice president, and then the other 2 clusters to the other vice president. And so that gives not only a constituent group for those, but it also provides you with some more direct leadership based on the site that you work at. So we're really excited about that. Deadlines are coming. Now this is just a heads up. There are several deadlines in our contract that if you don't meet them, the district is not obligated to entertain your requests related to these deadlines. So if you want a job share or continue a job share, your deadline is coming up. Retirement incentives, there's a couple of different retirement incentives in our contract. Both of those have deadlines coming up as well. Also, we have involuntary transfers. If you have an involuntary transfer right, you have to let the district know that you intend to use it in the next transfer cycle. Even if you don't end up using it, you still have to give the district a heads up that you plan to use it if necessary. Also, if you're planning on taking a leave next year, let's say you want to move out of state and continue your education somewhere, you want to write the great American novel, whatever it is, if you want to take up to a year leave from the district, you're going to have to apply for that, and that deadline is coming up as well. So if you go back to the email this video is attached to, you'll see all the deadlines for these different areas, and you'll also find a link to our contract where you can find details on what each of these mean, not only the deadlines, but also the requirements and qualifications and that kind of stuff. So If you're interested in any of these items, make sure you go back to the email this video was attached to you. Click on the links there so you get more information about what the deadline means and what the requirements are for each of these areas. All right, folks, that's all I have for you today. We have one more week before your winter break, a well-deserved break. I know a lot of you are looking forward to that. I'm sure your students are looking forward to that. So have a great last week here with your kids, in your classrooms, on your job sites, working with teachers, whatever it is you do for the district. I want you to enjoy next week, make the most of it, and then have an amazing winter break. We'll talk to you all soon.